The It's Your RV podcast is hosted by Keith Shomaker, co-owner of Redlands Truck and RV, and Brad Killgore, owner of Custom Shops Marketing. The guys created the show to connect the RV community and provide trusted resources for RV owners to find out the latest developments in the industry. Our podcast dives deep below the typical surface level content that you may be used to hearing. Listen to the show on all streaming platforms, and if you have a question or need further information, just reach out and we'll be glad to help. All right, good afternoon, everybody. It's Brad Killgore here with Custom Shops Marketing, and I'm here with Keith Shomaker from Redlands Truck and RV for another episode of It's Your RV. How's it going, Keith?
Good, Brad. Good to see you.
Good, you too. So today, we really wanted to do an episode. It's going to be kind of a short and impactful episode, but it's about Unplugged. Different parts of the country, people have different camping styles when they're traveling. But we're going to kind of focus on the West Coast, where Keith is based, because it's a very more moderate climate, and people camp year round, and a lot of that is dry camping or boondocking or whatever you want to call it, where you're literally unplugged. You're not necessarily just pulling into a state park or a national park and plugging into the pedestal. You're out there in the wild, and so we're going to give you some ideas and some tips, and just kind of bring you up to speed on really what's out there, so that you don't have to be plugged into anything. You can go out there and enjoy what you do if you're in the middle of the desert or middle of the mountains or whatever it is. So Keith, if you want to just kind of fill us in on some of the deals, how it works in California. You mentioned to me earlier about, whether it's winter, certain things happen with people's camp style versus summer and what have you. So let's maybe start with just kind of the lay of the land.
Yep. We just got done with winter. It's starting to be spring now. I know the rest of the country kind of giggles at us when we call 60 degrees winter. During the winter, usually what I've seen, the dry campers that are going to be enthusiasts are going to be heading out to the riding areas, whether it's the high desert or low desert or Glamis or California City or all the riding areas. Almost all of us that head out there are dry campers. We're circling up the wagons and camping with our 3 or 4 or 8 buddies or whatever, and making coffee and heating and making, doing everything we normally do in an RV, but we're responsible for it ourselves, generating our own power, and also being polite in using our generator. There's I know if you're in even in a BLM, Bureau of Land Management area, whether it's Arizona or California, they have some hours that they do not want you to run your generator, and they'll let you know, or your neighbor will.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And what we have had recent success with, and I know that we touched on lithium batteries and that we touched on our portable RV generators at Quartzsite. I know we talked about them, but they've been a tremendous success, and we're real excited. The generators are from RVMP. That's a company back east that we've been dealing with. We met them when we were struggling to find replacement parts for Onan generators and also generators. Supply crunch has hit everybody. We can rehash all that again, but very recently we went to try to find a stator or a rotor or something significant for an onboard generator. It was an Onan, and it wasn't available. It was either discontinued or not available through the system, or whatever the problem might have been. And it wasn't an ancient, 5-year-old or 8-year-old generator or something. Anyway, we've ended up finding this company that has Onan replacements, and you just take your Onan generator out, your 4,000 or 5,500 gas powered, sorry, and take it out and put this one in. And it turned out you could power it on propane or you could power it on gasoline. So it's really beneficial for an RVer.
Yeah.
So this is an installed unit, and we had great success with them. And then obviously we debuted them at Quartzsite. They came out with handhelds,
Yeah.
and the handheld is a 2200. It looks almost identical to Honda's. Um, I need to make sure I get the right model numbers. They also have we have a 3300 that's obviously a little bit larger than the 2200, and it's believed that most of our air conditioners on our uh, on our RVs and we're dry camping, we will be able to run them off of a 3300. And they also have a 4500 that's got a suitcase handle that pulls out and it's got wheels, so it's portable. You probably need a little bit of help to put it in the back of a pickup truck, but it's super. That's actually the generator we have sold the most of over the last 3 months is the 4500.
Right.
Um, vendor of ours that's actually making the stand for to display. We're displaying 3 generators in our office, and he used the 4500 to do some welding. I took him 3 generators to make to mock up, and he asked if he could use one of them to weld a section of fencing in the back corner of his property, and he said
Right.
it ran the welder better than any other generator he's tried. So I
Wow.
know that it works, and again, we're just having great success with them. So
Right.
being unplugged, that to me, that's one option is a generator.
Sure.
When I go to Glamis or dry camp somewhere, and we just dry camped with the kids up in a dry lake by us out here in the high desert. Um, I have an onboard generator. The coach I have is I think it's a Marquis 5000, and it works and runs. But I also take a 2200.
Sure.
And what I like to do is I like to make sure that we have enough battery power or energy overnight to run our heater, water pump, lights, whatever we want to run overnight, and that we have enough left in the morning to make coffee without having to start up a generator, whether it's a little one or the onboard large one.
Right.
So that's what I've done in the past, and it's been I've had great luck with it, and I'm excited that we're now able to carry a generator, a handheld portable generator that rivals the operation of some of the best. And I'll go on record, man. I've always owned Honda. There's 2 of them out in my shed, and I guarantee you, if I go out there and I know there's gas in it, I shake it and pull the choke and rip the cord a couple times, that sucker's going to start. I know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about these. The neat thing about these generators, they're about half price of
Yeah.
almost every other large company generator out there. So we're excited about them.
Well, and so many of the smaller handheld or the ones that are standalone, they're quiet. You know, that's a big deal because in the old days everybody had the big open frame generators and
Construction
so
generator.
loud.
And you know what? People still do. They don't
Sure.
know. And I'm not making fun of anybody. They don't know that there's a generator made to be quiet, and it's made to idle down, to be even quiet or whisper mode. Um, One of these generators, in fact, it's the 4500. It's got a little battery in it. You can push to start it. You don't even have to pull the cord on it.
Right.
So
Well, one of them
super
has a remote,
convenient.
right? Yeah.
The 2200 later this year is going to come out with a remote. They don't have it right now. So
Okay.
uh, it just a good company, and everything that we've worked with on and the other generators we've used, we just had great success.
Now, what about, because I've had, onboard generators and standalone generators, but like the ones you're describing, the smaller ones, do they need to have like a break-in period where you kind of start them up, you got to change the oil and all the stuff like a normal generator, or you don't even do that?
We have a little service kit, it gets prepped before it goes out, but nope, fire
Okay.
it up and run it.
They're just ready to go.
Ready to go out of the
That's,
box. Well, it has to be prepped. We have to put oil in it and gas. And
yeah, of
the
course.
4500, we have to pull a panel off and connect 2 wires so that button, the start button on the front works. But real straightforward. Um, I just did a Newmar rally. I did a seminar and I displayed a 2200 and it was very, very popular. They didn't want me to start it up inside. So we went out and first pull, bam.
Right.
And I don't know when the last time it ran,
Right.
but anyway,
So I am not an electrician, but I know that there's different volts and amperage and different things like that. So let's say someone like myself who uses a CPAP machine at night, I might need a little extra power to make sure that my machine doesn't die in the middle of the night.
yep,
Along with in my coach, I have a residential refrigerator and some of those things.
yep,
What size would you really need to have some of the extra stuff? I mean, not everybody has a residential fridge and not everybody has a CPAP machine.
yep.
And you were saying you had a smaller one you were using with your grandkids. What size would somebody need for that?
I think convenience wise, I think you could get away with the 3300. You probably can't do all of that stuff and then bang off the roof air if it's 117 out and
Sure.
expect it, to do something right away. So there, you can call that power shed if you want, but a 3300 should be able to run all of your durable equipment. A household refrigerator should keep the batteries charged, let you watch TV, heaters, run all that stuff.
Wow.
It shouldn't be a problem at all.
Right.
Now, we step back as a notch into a previous podcast and we can talk about other stuff like lithium batteries that will make a even better difference. Hey, we have all this storage and we don't have to run a generator because
Right.
we can run our durable equipment off of 2, 3, or 4 lithium batteries that got charged for 30 minutes, at 5 p.m. and
Right.
I'm good to go. I can run my equipment all night long and I'm going to be able to make coffee tomorrow morning without
Exactly.
starting the generator. So that's,
Exactly.
did I personally like the handheld generator because it's an emergency backup. Like I'm out camping, dry camping, and my large generator quits working, or who knows what the hell, or I it doesn't make the transfer switch doesn't work, or and I can't get power, or something. Who knows what's going on?
Yeah.
Man, I got this little handheld. Vroom, I can do whatever I want. I can charge batteries. I can run lights. We can fix things. We can. So it's
Charge your phone or whatever.
uh, yeah, yeah. And in fact, honestly, here at home, I've had it in the bucket of the tractor, and before I had a gas powered weed eater, I ran my electric cord on my weed eater, and I would just try, 100-foot cord and do what I needed to do, and then move on.
Right.
So, you can
Very
use it,
personal.
a hand. I think what people realized yesterday at the Newmar rally was, hey, this is a great emergency thing and it fits in my compartment. Holy
Yeah.
moly.
Yeah.
So,
Hey,
and
take
really in
take
the end,
car.
our RVs are a lot of things. Yep. Winter enjoyment things. Summertime, we get to go to the river. We're probably plugged in because it's hot, and we're trying to run rough air. But so, it doesn't matter, especially in California. Earthquakes don't care. They don't care about summer or winter. And the truth is, an RV that's full of gas and livable. Hey, man, that's an emergency. That's a great emergency setup, to get you through any kind of emergency. And I hate talking about um, bad things, but we're close to the mountains. Hey, you live up there in Colorado. You got trees all around you. You got to be prepared. You got to be prepared to get out. You got to be prepared to survive. And so
Yeah.
it's just another good tool to have for you in your arsenal.
Right. Well, and for some people, that the portable stuff is good, and for others, they want a full-on onboard generator, a larger generator,
Yep.
and
Yep.
tying into the solar and lithium and all those other things
Yep.
because then you're really bulletproof in a lot of ways. But then having an additional backup portable is always a good idea too.
Yep. We love. I love solar. I love solar, lithium. I love all that stuff. But there's days when it gets cloudy, and you can wish all you want, but if the sun ain't out, baby, you're not gonna be making power. And there's
Yeah.
times when it can be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Shoot, uh, I think it was 2023, our local mountains got nailed with some whatever, winter storm, and they were out. There's sections up there that didn't have power for 3 and 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So it was just, you know, it shocked me that it was that close, and these people were, they were losing their homes. The propane regulators were getting covered up with snow, and didn't let it vent, or something happened, and man, several homes went up, and several collapsed. They lost a big giant grocery store.
Yeah. A year ago, February.
And here we are. We're modern, and that kind of stuff can't happen. But I guarantee you, everybody had their portable generators running up there,
Oh, yeah.
and I can see it here. We're not in the mountains where I live, but I've used them several times.
Sure. Sure. And people could go right to the redlandsrv.com now and get what they need, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
we did. We got it up on got all the generators from RVMP up on our page. They're dedicated. You can see them directly. You can order them right there. The um, uh, the page, it's all on one page. It's beautiful. You can see it. It's clear. The specs are there.
Yeah.
You can buy it, directly from us. We have these generators. They're in stock. So yeah, ready to go.
That's great. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, so many people, I mean, all of us at some point stay in a campground, and that's nice. It's nice to have that convenience, but you're really limited. I mean, when you're out there and you can just go and be unplugged and go out there and enjoy things like you say, whether it's Glamis or up in the mountains or whatever it is, that's a whole different world of camping to me.
And I've done both, and I enjoy an RV park. I really do. But when I think of RV, I think of being out in the middle of nowhere, whether it's a dry lake or in the middle of the sand dunes or whatever. Uh, I it wasn't mine. I've even camped up in Mammoth in the winter in an RV.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
It,
And
it
with,
that was before I knew anything. Before I knew what I know now, I guess.
right.
we the we put the motor home. We didn't know. We parked on a hill. We put the jacks up, and the rear wheels came off the ground, and the RV slid because we didn't have. It was hilarious. I mean, it slid 100 feet.
Oh
It
my
was
gosh.
frightening.
Yeah.
And anyway,
You don't want to have your back wheels off the ground.
I don't know what that has to do with generators, but dry camping. I've always been a dry camper, and that's my thing. I love to dry camp. And when someone says, "Hey, man, we're going up to this," I'm like, I'm assuming that we're going to park next to a lake, a river, a stream, a sand dune, and we're on our own. And I'm like, okay, do I have my generator? Do I have my coffee? Do I have my this? Do I have my that?
Well,
Um,
and
hey, in the sand dunes, we always need a generator. We're pumping up tires all the time. We're blowing sand out of something. We're grinding something that we broke so we can re-weld. We're running a welder.
yeah.
Uh, I always ran my air compressor, ran my lights. I have 110 lights in my little dune buggy trailer. Um, we ran all that stuff. Well, all that stuff runs off of a generator, and it's
Yeah.
nice not to have to run the um, out when we're camping. What's neat is that little generator has a handle, and I can take it over to so and so's trailer. And we can get that work done over there. If his dune buggy is broken or whatever it might be, whatever the case might be, you can take it out there.
Yeah.
Portable, totally portable.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is too with Starlink now, you could really go out in the middle of nowhere and still have your phone work. And if you need to do something on the internet or
Yep,
whatever, you've got that too. And
yep,
that doesn't take much power at all. So now, I mean, it's changed. I mean, literally in the last few years, where you can really be out there in the boonies and have everything you need.
yep.
So it's a big deal.
Yeah, and I think I always have great ambition of camping without a cell phone, and then I don't know. Our last dry camp up local was we didn't have recept. We were behind a mountain, and whatever. None of us had reception, and it was a little unnerving. Uh,
Sure. Very well,
anyway.
we get used to it, you know.
Yep.
The world is different than it was 10 years ago, or we're in a connected world. And so being
Yep.
unplugged, it might just mean that you're just unplugged from the campground, not everything else.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
And hey, I like it. I like the generator thing because then we get to go back. I get to go back to what I like, and that is I just like to be in charge of myself. You know, I don't want to be a burden on anybody. I don't want to. If you have something that I can use, I appreciate it, and you're willing to loan it or whatever. But you know what? I like being on. I like in any situation. I like knowing that I can take care of me, myself, my wife, my kids, grandkids, whatever, and if someone needs help, I can help them.
yeah, it's a
So
big deal. Perfect. Well, I think this was a good little episode for It's Your RV, and I think we'll wrap with that. And be sure and follow us on the socials, and share this with everybody else. And we want to bring
and
as much value as we can.
and give us some feedback. Tell us what you guys want to talk, what you want us to talk about, and uh, get us off the lithium battery subject.
Awesome. Thanks, Keith.
Tires. We talk about tires next time.
That's right. That's right. All right, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to It's Your RV podcast. Our goal is that this information was helpful for you and that you will share and subscribe to our podcast. You can also follow us on our YouTube and social channels.